Hello everybody, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and I wanted to do a video talking about the story of twin flames. So I've done a lot of journaling throughout the years since my Kundalini activation in 2019, and I've finally been guided to go a little bit deeper and sharing my experience, what I understand about the twin flame journey, about the original soul split, and the ancient story of twin flames, and why we came here. And we did come here as part of this ascension mission. So I've noticed in the comments recently some people asking to explain divine feminine and divine masculine, and so I feel this is going to be a good start when it comes to going into these ancient roots, these ancient timelines, which go all the way back to that divine Genesis, Isis and Osiris. Twin souls have been here for a very long time, and we were divided. And so this is the lifetime that we journey back to completion, where we journey back to wholeness. And so for every twin soul that ascends into this higher truth, we as a whole collective are raising our conscious vibration. These higher vibrations come in, and then we activate people into these templates of unity consciousness. So unconditional love is the goal of anchoring all of these energies. And so twin flames have a very powerful soul calling. We're here to do very powerful quantum energy work, and it is a quantum connection in the higher realities, 5D and above. And so a lot of the twins are here to help as many people in the collective to shift into these higher states of consciousness. So not everybody is a twin flame. It is very rare, but many people will get activated with the twin flame template if they are connected to another twin soul that has awakened and ascended. So this twin flame story goes back over 2,500 years ago, okay? And it really is a fascinating story. And those that are actually on the twin flame journey are likely going to deeply resonate with the information I'm going to talk about, with what I've journaled about over the last several years, because it really does all come back to the origin of divine love and our separation from God source energy. And so in the beginning, humans, the original humans, were androgynous beings. So we were both masculine and feminine. And so during the separation, we kind of, distorted all of these energies. So for my own personal journey, I am a triple split soul. So I can connect to not only your energy along with God source at the same time, and I can activate this template within you when it comes to this journey to wholeness. So that's a big part of my mission. I'm also an androgynous being. I was born perfectly balanced at 5 masculine and 5 feminine. And so a big part of my mission is to teach people how to align with their inner masculine and feminine energies in order to reach a place of unity and wholeness from within. It really is a journey of self before anything else. So early humans did have both genders, did have both sex organs, and I was always shown throughout the journey that song by Coleman something, A Monster with Two Heads. So you might want to have a listen to that. So it's basically, we had 2 faces, we had 4 hands, 4 legs, 4 arms, and we were basically 2 humans combined as one. And according to the ancient Greek story, we were so very powerful, so very fast. The gods of Mount Olympus became very, very worried at the power that we held. And so Zeus kind of split us into 2 separate humans. He decided to weaken us, to lessen us, because we were a threat to these gods. And so he cut the twins in 2, cut the twins in half, and divided them into a masculine and a feminine entity. And so this is where this twin flame story begins. And you're likely going to feel this deep resonance, especially if you are on the awakening twin flame journey. So metaphorically, after the twins were divided, we were very unhappy. So it was this longing, this deep longing for the other half of our soul. And so the twins basically came here this life in this deep search to find one another, to weave ourselves back together again for this growth, this evolution, and this expansion journey. So I feel, you know, it is the process of calling back the other half of your soul. And the twins do actually share unconditional love for the other half of their soul, but it doesn't come without this deep aspect of going into that core wound of that original division, that original separation. And that's why many of us don't feel this sense of completeness, the sense of wholeness on the journey. And so we are born of love. Every human being is born of unconditional love. And then we go into all of our program beliefs with our family structures, our ancestral lineage. And so all of those, you know, energies get distorted throughout traumatic events throughout our lives. And so it is our original nature to want to find the other half of who we are. And so it is like this doom and gloom energy where, you know, it kind of feels like a sentence where we descend into earth, into a human body, searching for the other half of our soul. And so we did come here to heal these wounds of that original human separation, and that's a big part of the twin flame mission. And so each of us has our own personal mission, depending on the past life karma you came to clear, what you agreed to, and where your ranking was when it comes to that original soul being divided. So when we meet the other half of our soul, the other half of who we are, something very beautiful happens. And so I'm going to reference the Vesicus Pisces. So I encourage you to look that up. I will do a more in-depth video talking about the Vesicus Pisces. So it's basically these two energies. And when we meet each other, we kind of get struck by the intensity of these deep senses of love, this deep sense of, oh my God, this is my person, we belong together, this is my desire. And we don't want to be separated from one another, not for a single moment. And the intensity of the two energies coming together like the Vesicus Pisces, there's that original soul recognition, and then all of the other distortions from our human existence kind of push us apart until we reach that resolution to be able to come back together. And so we kind of got to go through clearing all of the blockages throughout the chakra pathway after that soul star chakra is activated, which is the chakra above the crown. So when you meet your counterparts, you're going to know this is the person that's going to illuminate the best version of who you are, so you understand that we came from love and we are journeying back to unity in order to break free from all of this opposition. So there's that original reunion or soul recognition where we reunite, and then we go into separation after this beautiful, amazing experience, because we have to kind of separate to deal with all of this past baggage, all of this negativity, and all of these blocks that kind of get triggered after that seed point of love is activated, because then we go into all of these self-worth issues, not feeling worthy. We have to kind of build our self-confidence up, and that twin acts as that mirror reflection that yes, you are worthy of this deep unconditional love. And so we got to go into this separation to remind us of our human existence, the past life karma, and this desire to return to a state of unity. And that is what we're here, Christ consciousness, unity consciousness. So this is where we feel ourselves in separation, and we recognize where we have not unconditionally accepted or loved ourselves, in order for us to have that love return to us. So it is about a journey of inner wholeness. Many twins face all kinds of traumatic challenges along their life's journey. We all have our own unique heightened experience of love. We are not regular people. When you cross paths with a twin flame that has been activated, you are going to feel that high resonance that they carry. And that is where we can activate others through this template. So what we are here to do is to build that brighter future. And I just want to say, for anybody questioning their sanity, this is real. We are not crazy. I have experienced so many strange yet wonderful things that are just not explainable scientifically or medically. And so a lot of twins go into this deep state of isolation because they don't feel like anybody understands them, because we are not of this world. So there are thousands of twin flames, absolutely. And although we go through similar stages on the journey, we all have our unique individual lessons that we kind of came here to learn. We all have our unique life experiences and baggage. And yes, this is a very real journey. This is not a myth. I know there's a lot of people with distorted versions of twin flame, and yes, it can be very distorted. I've heard people call this journey demonic, and it's because you kind of got to go into your shadow self and you got to face all of those inner demons, and it's not easy work to do. It upheaves your entire life, and I've been on this journey consciously since 2019. And looking back, you know, chronologically at all of the past events that I've gone through in my life, I can look back now and see where I was activated at the age of 18 when it comes to this awakening journey and all of the 0-point Genesis points I've had throughout my life as part of these traumatic triggering events to prepare me for that soul recognition, that reunion, for that for the separation, which is the most painful experience you will have to go through on the awakening journey. And it usually spirals you into what I call the dark night of the soul, which is a deep, dark depression. The deepest dark depression of sifting through all of these subconscious activations that lay dormant until you have that soul recognition with your counterpart. So it is a lot to integrate. I was always shown about a 4-year integration process after the recognition, the higher heart activation, and then the union of self. And it is all going to depend on how much shadow work, how willing you are to go into the depths of your own inner shadows and transmute that to find that place of inner wholeness. So I've connected with many, many twin flames over the last several years. I've done hundreds and hundreds of Synastry charts as part of my integration, as part of calling in more powerful twin flames to work with on this spiritual journey. And so I would love to hear from you about your own journey, maybe your opinions on this subject. Feel free to shoot me an email. My email is located in the description box, you know, because we all have our own culture, our own backgrounds that we are born into. So all twin flames feel and deal with things in their own version. So no two twin flame journeys are the same, and some go through some deeper experiences than others when it comes to this activation. So I also do want to talk about acknowledging you know, how do you know if you're a twin flame? So I'm going to pull up that document that I spoke about, and I've been in the process of writing a book about my experience. And so hopefully eventually within the next year or two, I'm able to publish that book for all of you. But let's talk about the signs of a twin flame connection. So how do you know that you are an actual twin flame? And like I said, there's a lot of false information out there, and people can get led down the wrong path and can become quite obsessed with the twin flame template, even if you're not actually a twin flame. So many people ask, hey, what is twin flame? How do I even know if I have a twin flame? And many are twin flames, and you might not have even crossed paths with your counterpart yet, or maybe you're unsure whether you've encountered them. And so many people search online for all of these answers. And so I'm going to try to bring forward a little bit of clarity when it comes to the twin flame connection. So there's many, many precursors and indicators of the twin flame connection before your awakening that you'll just feel at the deep internal soul level. So many on the journey, you will find that you've never ever been able to fully connect with a romantic partner and it, you know, be stable and solid. And I'm a testament to that. I've been on the search since I was 18. And I've gone through many, many failed relationships where I've never been able to fully open up my heart to these people, or vice versa, or I've never fully been available for marriage. I've never been married, 42 years old. I've never been married. I've never actually committed to somebody at that degree. I've lived with men. Normally, I own my house. I bought my house 10 years ago. Usually men move in with me and it's very short-lived and they leave. I've just never been fully available for that committed partnership until I crossed paths with my counterpart and I gave him my whole heart. And boy, did he rip it to shreds, let me tell you. So if you've never ever fully connected with a romantic partner, if you've never been fully available for that commitment, that's a clear indication you're likely on a twin flame journey, a precursor. And you'll feel different. You'll always have this feeling like I'm different than other people around me. I've never really fit in with the world around me. And so when you look around, it's like nobody's actually really on your wavelength. And I've had many people say that even after the awakening process that I've been through is, you don't live in this world. No, I don't. I live in a higher reality. I do not live in the 3D world most of the time. I do when I have to get things done. But no, I'm on a much higher frequency wavelength, and not everybody understands the language that I speak unless you're already awake and you're kind of on the twin flame journey. So twins share this core connection of mutual energy, and our systems are set to seek out our match. And so we know at a very young age that yes, we're on that search for that one perfect person. I always knew at a young age I would never ever get married until I met the one. I always knew there was that one for me. I didn't know who, but boy did I search, and I searched in all of the wrong places many times over. I've lived all over the world. I've traveled. I've backpacked across Thailand. I've lived out west in Canada. I've lived in Ottawa. I've lived in Montreal. I've been on this soul search to find my perfect match since I was about 18. So that's another clear sign, this deep knowing that you have a perfect match out there and your soul is deeply searching for this person, okay? And you're going to feel like you just don't fit in with anybody around you because you usually don't, okay? And then you're going to be feeling this deep feeling below the surface. This is another precursor that you don't really feel at home in the world. That was another big thing. I remember even as a child, I used to pray to go home. Even I've said that in front of my kids, I just want to go home. Well, Mom, we are home, but this really isn't our home. So you don't feel quite at home in the world with the people around you because we volunteered to come here for this soul mission. We volunteered, so it's kind of like we're visitors of Earth. And this was created in our system because we've never been fully able to integrate into regular society. So that's another indication. You've never been able to fully integrate into regular society. Many twin flames go through different jobs to find out who they are. A lot of us, jump from one place to another in this search of where the hell do I fit in this world? Because we've never fully felt like we belonged here. That's another indication. And many of us grew up with a strong focus on love. And that's another clear indication. I've always believed in true love. I've always believed in, that fairy tale love. Although the journey can be depicted as this romantic fairy tale, it's kind of like a freaking nightmare, to be honest. When you're in the dysfunction of all of the trauma that you kind of got to go into and face. So many of us grew up with this very strong indicator of love. Love has always been in focus. I love everybody. I love my family. I have this deep, deep love for humanity, and I always have. I remember in grade school, I used to, I was born in 1980, so I'm an 80s kid, and we were always taught about world peace and all of this stuff in our childhood. And look at the state of the world right now. We're definitely nowhere close to world peace. And so I always knew world peace was a big part of my heart, despite all of the dysfunction, despite all of the trauma that I've been through, and despite all of this 3D separation consciousness, because we are the way showers. We are here to assist paving these new timelines, these new higher dimensions, these new higher states when it comes to love-based consciousness. It is all about the love. So a lot of us grew up in households with parents who did not embody unconditional love. Some of us have. It's all going to depend on your upbringing, but I always believed in unconditional love, and I had a very skewed perception of commitment. My parents actually got married when my mom was 16. My dad's 5 years older than my mom. My mom had me at 20, my brother at 25, and my parents were together for almost 30 years before they separated. So I always, believed in that committed partnership. My parents, I look back and nobody's parents are perfect, but I look back and my parents did give me and my brother a good life. Was it distorted? Absolutely. My mother stayed longer than she should have for us kids. But ultimately, I was shown two people working together harmoniously within a home. My dad and my mom would clean the house together every Thursday night, and we'd do pizza. We did a lot of things together as a family that I remember. And, that original point of childhood trauma for me was when my brother was born. I think when my brother was born. So my brother and I almost share a birthday exact to the date, 5 years apart. My brother's April 25th and I'm April 26th. So I think when I was about 5, that was really traumatic for me, that I was no longer the center of attention, that I had to share a birthday with a baby brother. So, you look back and there's all kinds of these precursors in hindsight. So another precursor or indication of a twin flame connection is you'll be drawn to spiritual phenomena. Many of us are, psychically gifted as children. And even if we shut this gift down through trauma, I believe my gift was shut down around the age of 6. And I can see that Genesis point in my natal chart. So, but we'll always be drawn to spiritual phenomena. I've always been drawn to horoscopes, astrology. There's always been that tug. I had no idea I was capable of reading charts and retrieving Akashic downloads until my awakening. So you'll come into all of these repressed supernatural gifts that were likely shamed or pushed down as a child. So when we repress these gifts, it's because we were shamed for them, or we were told we were imagining things, making things up. So we've always been drawn to the supernatural. For me as a child, I was always afraid of the dark, likely because I had connection with my guides and I was always told it wasn't real. And so there was a fear attached to that. And when my third eye popped, let me tell you, that was pretty damn frightening to come into all of this Akashic knowledge. So always drawn to a little bit of spiritual phenomena, whether it's ghost chasing or anything like that, right? Another precursor is being drawn to other places than where you grew up. So it's like this subtle calling. A lot of us are asked to go to other physical places in the world for our energy to activate certain ley lines. And so you'll get physically drawn to where souls of your vibration resonate at that in that part of the world. Or, you'll be asked to travel to certain distances and certain cultures of people when it comes to your design aspect and what you're here to do. So when I went to Thailand, what an experience. I'm definitely not the backpacker type of traveler, but it was an experience. I backpacked across Thailand. I believe it was, I know it was a couple of years before I had my oldest daughter, and I had her in 2010. So I guess we'll go back maybe 2007, 2008. I backpacked with a man I was dating at that time all across Thailand, and it was an experience. Would I go back? I'm not sure. I really do enjoy those all-inclusive trips, but something that I would have never done without that catalyst in my life, and it was an experience to see how people in Thailand lived, a whole other part of the world. And like I said, I was pulled to go to Montreal. The life I lived there was very, very not what I would call that my parents were proud of. I was an exotic dancer in my early 20s, and it was an experience. So like we go through all of these experiences on the journey, or we'll be called to travel here or there as part of this expansion when it comes to our human design, and to gather all of these important information about different cultures, different backgrounds, and what we are, being asked to introduce ourselves to. So that's another thing. Being drawn to other places other than where you grew up is another big indicator. And so will have this deeply imbued, latent memory in our subconscious of what is truly meant for us. And we're going to know we've got this calling. We know we're here for a reason. We know there's destiny coming on our path. And we know there's that one specific person who is meant for us. So it's like you've always sensed this ideal partner or this ideal energy around you, knowing that they would come forward at the right time. So many of us are drawn to a masculine similar to our father, and that was exactly the energy that I had when I recognized my counterpart. It was a subtle recognition. I remember our first date, we went to Tim Hortons and we met there. We actually met on on Tinder on a dating site, and I thought there's no way in hell anything would ever work out. Well, it worked out temporarily, but it was just this like this curiosity, like, this person feels familiar. What is it about this person? And I know he felt the same pull. There was this curiosity, like, how do I know you? It was just such a familiar feeling. So you'll have this strong desire. You'll have this image in your head of your perfect partner. And you know, I've always wanted this tall, masculine figure, and that is exactly what my counterpart was. This gorgeous, tall, masculine figure. He had glasses like my father. He was, I want to say, a little bit like hickey-ish. He was like a hick. He was very basic, and that's not a put down at all. He was just simple. He was a simple man. He was basic, and there was a draw to that. And I know I can come across as like, I like to be done up every day. I like to dress nice, and he was just a very simple man. And there was such a draw because with my fiery personality, it was like he calmed the fire, and there was this deep soul remembrance of this subtle underlying feeling of, hey, this person is really special to me. This person is very special to me, and what he brought into my life was nothing like anybody else has brought into my life. And I knew that this person was gonna have a big impact on me. I had no idea how big that impact was going to be. And so a lot of times too, our twin will come to us in dream space, often repeatedly, and you might not be able to see their face, but it is the familiarity in the energies. And I can feel my counterpart's energy around me, especially after a dream. It's like you know them. You just know this person, because we as twin souls communicate with each other telepathically in the higher realities. And usually you'll feel that energy come in dream space first before you encounter them in the physical reality. And so then there's also very strong astrological indicators. So for me, my North Node is in Leo. My counterpart's Jupiter is in Leo. His North Node is in Virgo, and my Jupiter is in Virgo. And so there's a lot of aspects that I look at and go into Synastry comparison in the charts. There's a lot of Saturn and Plutonian aspects that can be strong. And then I always look at like the 2nd, the 5th, the 7th, and the 8th house, and how all of this energy interacts with Venus, because we also have to go into several karmic past life connections that interact with our North Node when it comes to the descendant, when it comes to the fall, indicating our soul purpose. So if you'd like to learn more about that, I do encourage you to book a full Synastry reading with me, and we can go deeper into those aspects. And so usually there's other signs too, either just before your twin shows up or right around the recognition period, that are other very powerful indicators of this deep spiritual connection developing and activating. So it is like this energy of this spiritual, non-physical love experience. And so not always, but often we'll have that remote astral romantic connection. We'll feel them, we'll see them, we'll sense them, we'll feel that person holding us, we'll feel them, making love with us beyond the physical. And there have been many times throughout separation that I have felt my counterpart standing behind me, kissing me on the head. I have had several astral sexual experiences with my counterpart. And we'll get these repeated visions of this person, of interacting with this person in the spiritual planes, in the astral planes. And then when we see all of these synchronicities all the time, the angel numbers, and when we see them a lot, and I get haunted by number synchronicities all the time. And that is why I always encourage people, study numerology, study the vibrations of 1 through 9, because when you understand vibrations, then you can easily differentiate what your angel guides are bringing forward in these synchronistic messages through these number patterns. So 333, 777, 1111 is the awakening code. So if you notice 1111 on the clock all the time, you're likely entering into a spiritual awakening of some sort, and you are being guided towards your true soul's path, whether you are a twin flame or not. You'll come across the twin flame subject, coincidence or not. So a couple of years before I met my counterpart, and with my old social circle, I had a best friend of almost 20 years, and she was bringing up twin flame a couple of years prior to this, and I was already in a karmic connection with my youngest daughter's father. So, and that was a very, very hefty karmic bond to break. So she would talk about twin flames. It was brought up, and that was the first I ever really heard of twin flames. So it'll show up on your pathway, the twin flame energy or the knowledge of twin flames, and researching it, and you'll be guided to all of this information either when you encounter them or before you encounter them, because that's also part of the soul path and the awareness, okay? And then another big indicator, the repeating songs. I get a lot of messages through songs. A lot of telepathic energies come through where my counterpart's at, where the karmic's at, where I'm at, through songs. And so that's a clear indication that you've tapped into twin flame telepathy, is the communication through the songs and the energy that you feel through the music. And so I've always deeply resonated with music. Music is my muse as part of my ascension journey. And if it wasn't for music, I don't know how the heck I would have got some of the lowest of the lows on the journey. So I always say, turn on the music. I don't watch TV. If we have anything on in the background, it's either my kids watching some videos on their iPad or doing a Disney movie, or we always have the music on. So music is a big indicator. And another thing is, you're gonna feel this loving presence within you. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna have sudden bursts of elation, and that's part of the ascension, elation, maybe sometimes for no particular reason, or you'll feel these heart palpitations for no reason, especially in the heart space when it comes to your twin soul interacting with you energetically, because that means the connection is either activating or ascending or accelerating, and you're gonna just be drawn to twin flames and finding everything out that you can about the subject, almost like an obsession. And so it's gonna be like this deep nudging from your higher self, from your spiritual team, and from your counterpart to find out more information. And that's, part of the process is the understanding and the digging. And so a lot of experiences come through in meditation as well. And so very vivid energies in meditation. And I don't have to go into meditation to receive those third eye visions. I do a lot of third eye astral travel in waking space, and a lot of people are like, Laura, come back to earth. Where did Laura go? So that's another clear sign. I'm always floating off somewhere in space in a whole other reality. I don't ever really feel like I'm really in person in this physical life most of the time. So you'll feel this deep sense of this person's energy in and around you, and you're gonna know who it is based on the distinct vibration that you feel is another big message. And sometimes we can just connect without trying. And so a lot of spiritual interaction, and then we're gonna have all of the synchronicities. We'll be thinking of them, dreaming of them, and then boom, they're gonna appear. So a lot of deja vu energies as well, signs that you're being shown, hey, I'm in a large spiritual process of transformation here. And I'm here as this awakening path. My soul is awakening. And so you'll come into also this deep, deep understanding like, oh my God, I'm a starseed. I'm a light worker. I'm here to fulfill a calling. I do have a life path mission, and it is involving uplifting others, others on the planet. And so if you have this deep innate sense of, hey, I'm here for a purpose, I'm here as a light worker to uplift humanity, then you're likely on a twin flame journey or have been activated with the twin flame template. And so you're going to come into this understanding like, oh my God, I'm a star seed soul. And so we are volunteers that did decide to come here to raise the collective consciousness on the planet. And so we have to go into these states of love with our twin. And we did choose to, divide and to come here for this mission to come back together. So we all have to go through that separation. And some separation stages can last up to 20 years, 25 years. So there's a lot of information out there when it comes to confirming if you're a twin flame, gaining that clarity, but you're going to have no question when that soul blueprint is activated and when you make contact with your twin. There is nothing else that can explain this, because usually you go into these Akashic records, you will be shown your soul's blueprint, you will be shown this spiritual library of all of your past life soul experiences, the lessons you came here to ascend, and the information will be downloaded into your heart chakra when it comes to what it is you're here to do as part of this vibrational alignment and this ascension journey. So I invite you all to kind of go into the heart. That's a really good place to go. It's one of the big things to open up on the journey is to go into the heart, and meditation is key, especially after you've connected with your counterpart and you've gone into separation. Meditation is the energy that is designed to help you connect with your twin soul to soul, to understand that separation is an illusion, that we are never separate. We are always connected through the chakra pathway. There is no cutting cords on the twin flame journey. They are you, you are them, and it is a beautiful etheric connection. And so you can always go into meditation and go to the Garden of Eden, the original soul split, and ask to meet your counterpart there and sit down and have that talk when it comes to coming into union. So we need to remember too, on the journey, nothing ever happens by coincidence. Everything is always divinely ordained. And so if you have been drawn to twin flame in any way, shape, or form, there's a good chance you are on a twin flame path, or you have been activated at a twin flame template, and you are being guided to enter into your own energy vibration in order to find that alignment of wholeness of self. And so there's obviously something significantly going on when it comes to your spiritual awakening process if you've been drawn to the subject of twin flames. So I encourage you to explore it, to explore the depths of it. But I do want you to understand what's really resonated with me over the last several years is detach from the actual person. And it's so hard because when this person activates you, they're in your mind, they're in your heart, they're in your energy field, and it will feel like an obsession at first because this person activated these higher states of consciousness. And so this person, you can't let go of this person because of the experience that they brought forward in your life. And so the more you obsess, though, the more you delay the reunion process after the soul recognition. So I think this is a really exciting time for the collective to go on those spiritual hunches, to, embrace any aha moments of self-actualization when it comes to embracing your deep soul's inner knowing. And embracing all of this esoteric knowledge in order to confirm who you are at the soul level and what you already know that you just kind of got to remember deep down inside. So whether you've already met your twin flame or you're questioning if you are a twin flame, I kind of really hope that what I've brought forward has kind of helped you gain a little bit of clarity, because I feel like we're entering into this very exciting time for the collective of exploring the depths of who we are. And if you would like to dig a little bit further into this subject, or you want to maybe reach out and share your personal story, I would love that more than anything. And if you do want a breakdown of your astrology to dig a little bit deeper, I would love to get that booked in for you as well. So that was my little spiel on the original soul split. I really hope this helped, guys. I look forward to talking to you all again and putting out some more informational videos about the subject to kind of help us all reach a place of alignment. Thank you for your time today, guys. I'll see you all next time.